The Michigan YMCA Camping Network has enabled our camps and staff to come together and strengthen the Michigan YMCA camping movement. This network of camping professionals has worked together to share in the great moments, learn together in the challenging times, and celebrate the successes shared by our individual camps and the movement as a whole. Ultimately, our partnership has helped improve our camps by making them safer, healthier, and in the end, more fun. We no longer wonder what another YMCA camp is doing. We have been able to get to the why and the how. The sharing of ideas is invaluable, and the transparency with which we discuss issues is refreshing and often not found within a group of competing businesses. We all understand that it's ultimately about serving our kids and families, and how do we make sure that we're doing it the best way possible.
I think empathy is a big thing that happens in the YMCA Camp Network that's really interesting, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this situation was the worst thing that I ever went through, or I had a bad summer, a bad week, or whatever it is, and there's always someone in the Camp Network who understands what you're talking about, not just like, oh, you were at camp, like that's awesome, like summer vacation, but someone who's like, oh my gosh, like yeah, that's horrible, I understand what you're going through, or here's what I did when I went through that situation, or
seeing how other camps do what we do and just getting ideas from how they do it. We're all rustic, older camps, and it's nice to kind of get some feedback from how people are improving their campsites, or people are preserving what they have, and it's nice to kind of see what other people do, what other camps are doing.
Some of the things that I love about the network are the camaraderie that you have with the other staff and the other directors, because I have lots of close friends that don't truly understand what I do, and I have lots of people that I can walk into a room and I may see them only a couple times a year, but they know what we're going through, they know what a tough summer means. So that kind of support network, to be able to just kind of let some of those releases that come with working a unique job like camp is really beneficial to me. So personally, I love that those friendships that I've formed and the trust that we've had with the other directors.
Another great benefit was, one meeting we were able to bring together our program staff and let them, kind of have a short meeting while the rest of us met, or bring together our housekeeping staff or food service and maintenance, so that they can really just talk about, the individual challenges that they face at each of their camps, and then also discuss some best practices.
So there's been purchasing programs that I've discovered through the network. We've been saving a lot of money on our utilities the last couple of years, and it was based on conversations that I had with people within this group. I think about those types of opportunities really exist, where it used to be we don't want to share anything because we're all competing. And we've discovered that there's plenty of kids out there, there's plenty of groups out there. Let's come up with some best practices as a movement that really kind of puts Michigan YMCA camps in a place to compete with non-YMCA camps.
It's wonderful. It's just so interesting, and there's so much passion and dedication. It's inspiring to come to these.
I like sharing our struggles and learning from across the board, and something that I'm struggling with, I can pass that on, and likewise something that you're struggling with.
One of the things that has just been such a time saver for me are things like, I need to get a new vendor for our water toys, our inflatable toys. In 2 minutes I found a great vendor that 2 camps had recommended. Job done. I know that they come to us, they're respected and they're going to be easy to work with. So I think that those kind of resources are such time savers, than instead of me trying to start with somebody out of the, on the internet and just do a cold search. I've got people that I can trust their opinion with.
facilities is a huge thing with camps that's really scary as a new camp director, and sometimes you're in uncharted territory with, oh my gosh, it's a bathhouse, like how do you build a camp bathhouse? And maybe your architect has never built a camp bathhouse before, but the fact that I've seen several camp bathhouses, I've seen great examples, I've seen examples that aren't so great, it gives me a much better idea how to go into a meeting with like an architect or my camp committee and speak on a educated level about what I want and what's good for camp and what has worked and hasn't worked elsewhere, without having to be like sneaky or just sit on the computer all day. It gives you like a real life context.
I think the benefit of just resources, where other people get their vehicle leasing from, which is a great aspect for us. We actually went to a new transportation policy this summer, so we've got some ideas from the network from what they've been doing, so that's been helpful. I also think food service, it's really neat to hear how other people have done their menus and what ideas they have, especially we're trying to use more and more local foods, so it's nice to hear how other camps are doing that in their own communities.
Michigan-wide Camping Network, you gotta try it!